We're live.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there?
What's going on? Welcome everybody
Welcome.
to
This
the
is our first,
first.
the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
episode of Man, Me Too.
man, man, me too.
Man, it's so
Oh boy.
crazy. So first of all, I'm Scooter Lamont. Most people know me around our area for singing and I go to church. All those things. But tonight I'm on here to speak up for our men, our black men but definitely men in general.
I'm Carl. Y'all don't know me. You know, I do
Oh,
my
they
own
know
thing.
you.
Um, I'm just a family man. Work. You know, Black in America. That's
Right.
really prevalent today. I feel like,
Right.
but um, I love the Lord. We run a little business here, but we'll get to that later. But Um, yeah, we just want to welcome everybody to the first ever episode of Man Me Too. Um,
And we just want to make clear that this has nothing to do with the Me Too movement. This is just something that God pretty much laid on both of our hearts to kind of speak up to, to have men be healed and set free and be able to, kind of talk about things that we got going on in our lives.
yeah, just to start that conversation that men generally don't have in their normal everyday life. Like we both of us kind of identified with the thing of men just kind of go through life and we kind of just deal with things on our own. Like we don't really seek out. Like both of us are married, so we see our wives, and they basically have like a community, right? So they have like a group of women who they confide in. Like they
Right.
going through something, they have that conversation with somebody. Men don't do that. We just
Right.
we suck
We
it
hold it
up.
in.
Stop crying like a girl. We hear all those phrases that's causing havoc not only in our community but just the world now because um, we were taught
Yeah, I was just
that's
getting ready to say that.
that's how to be a man. You don't share your feelings. You don't reach out to people. You deal with it yourself and you figure it out. But both of us have realized that that's not working. That doesn't work for
Right.
everybody. Um, and what's funny about this is Mental Health Awareness Month, which I just
It
figured out,
definitely is.
and I personally believe that a lot of the mental health stuff that we're going through is due to us having to be suck it up, be a man, don't cry. Like
Right.
sometimes you probably need to get that out. So this
Right.
is just a platform that we decided to share with the world because honestly, it's for us to heal and process things. And if you get something out of it, hey, so be it, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I kind of hate that our society and people have been taught that, especially the males, to, don't cry, don't, or not even just crying, but just not. We're really kind of taught without even saying it to not deal with our emotions at all.
Hmm?
And so we go through life, and I realize that it's something that we need to deal with, but if we're not taught to deal with it, we just go through life and we think it's like in the back of our mind, but it shows up in different ways. It shows out in our behavior. And sometimes like I used to work with children and with the YMCA doing a before and after school care program. And a lot of times I would see a lot of the boys, and when they got upset and angry or whatever the emotion was, they didn't really know how to pinpoint what it was. And you'll see them swell up and they get their fists all tight, and it's like, hey, come over here, let me talk to you. I need you to vocalize and voice what's going on with you. And they get to breathing hard, and it's like it's because we're not really teaching our children how to deal with those emotions or even be able to like pinpoint those emotions. And so if you're a boy and you don't deal with those emotions, you just become a grown man that
It
still has
don't
not
stand
dealt
to
with
be.
those emotions.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
So I think both of us um, really want to have this platform, but we don't want it to always be super deep,
Right,
super spiritual, or super, like, we love the Lord, but like we want to make this a place where we can grow, learn, laugh, have fun, and all of that. Like it's not set up to where we're gonna come on here and cry every week, or come on here and talk about something super deep every week, but that may just happen. So
right.
um, we just kind of want to get our vision out there to the world, what God has really placed on us to do, and then we'll go from there. So this is the first ever episode. We thank everybody who's here and who's coming for being here.
Yeah, we definitely want everybody to kind of share with this live. If you're on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you are, make sure you share it and share it with some males that need to maybe hear some positive stuff, some positive light shedding on different situations that probably don't deal with their emotions or probably don't even have anyone to even voice how they feel. Because sometimes, like we have our spouses and stuff like that, but sometimes we feel that they won't understand what we may be have going on in our minds. And so sometimes it's cool to kind of be able to hear another male or from another male's perspective. Because one thing I realize is sometimes we all kind of have the same questions, but we won't vocalize them, but somebody may ask that question and answer a question that you may have been thinking about or pondering on, and it could always help us. It could always heal us, and and like you said, it don't necessarily have to be a deep subject every time or a deep topic, or it don't always have to be a y'all fix my life moment. But I do think those moments are very important to deal with, because one thing that I'm learning is a lot of times as individuals, as men, as people, period, we deal with surface level things. And so we look at someone, we say, oh, they do drugs, or we look at someone and say, oh, they rob, they steal from stores, or that's a thief, or whatever it is. But there's always a root
A
to it, whatever it
backstory.
is. It's a
Yes.
backstory to it. And I think that's so important for us as men to go and get that backstory, to get to the root of the situation, and not just look at a person or judge them based off of what we see on the surface. Like, it's so important that we really kind of dig into one another to figure out, even when it comes to the children, like, because it starts out young. A lot of times we wait till the man becomes the man in age, but nobody taught them as a child. And
Yep.
so we have to dig into those things, while they're young, to say, hey, you got this going on. Do you understand what it is? Do you understand how to get past it? Do you even understand how to vocalize it? And
Right. And
so,
and the stuff that we do teach them are those things that were passed down to us that
yep,
are causing the issues for us now. So
right,
we
exactly.
don't we because we, like, most kids learn from seeing more than you actually talking to them.
Actually
So
saying,
if they
yeah,
see
that's good.
you being quiet, not really expressing yourself, and then when they do cry, you stop being a girl. We're teaching
Right,
them. We are teaching
right.
them. We're just not teaching them.
The right stuff.
Yeah. So
And not only children, but people, period. Most people learn from people doing versus people what people are saying. So we have to, make sure that we're being those examples and being that light to one another, to not just talk about stuff, but put that action behind it.
yeah.
You know.
So I'm gonna just say this. This first episode, we wanted it to be interaction with the community. So if you have comments that you want to share with us, we can see them. Um, I'll put them on the screen. If it starts a conversation, we can kind of go there. But I mean, we have a little mapped out plan for tonight. But we really want to interact with the people today.
Right.
So if you have comments, questions, put them out there. If they If they hit, we'll touch them. All right.
Right, man. So there's a lot going on in the world today. There's a lot, that has happened in our culture, and we're going to dig into those things a little later on. But I think we should start. Well, first of all, this is just an introduction, pretty much, to what we're going to. We're trying to really build a community of men that where they can have a place where they can speak up and speak out and be healed and have a voice, pretty
Yeah.
much. And so that's what all this is geared towards. We want to make sure, because we've all the crazy thing, and not even just men. Sometimes when we go through situations, we feel like we're the only ones going through. When in all actuality, somebody else probably has gone through that same thing, or maybe even going through it right at the moment. And so with men, sometimes we go through and we feel like, man, I'm the only one broke. Or I'm the only one dealing with issues with my spouse. Or I'm the only one dealing with financial situations. Or I'm the only one dealing with my health. And there are other men who are dealing with probably some of the same things. And so we want to create a space where people and males can come and voice what's going on with them, or even listen to their brother say something that may be could be said to help them. So we're going to start with an icebreaker, and I want you all to put in the comment section what it is. So we're gonna play a game, and it's called Would You Rather. Now, with this, I want you all to put whatever you rather do, and so we just kind of have a conversation about it. So, Corey, I'm gonna ask you: Netflix or Hulu, and why?
Uh, I'm gonna say Netflix because I'm married and I like to Netflix and chill.
I know that's right.
No, no, no,
uh,
no, no, no.
yes, sir.
No, but for real though, like I don't know what's on Hulu. Like I got Hulu, but
Really?
what do people watch on Hulu?
Man, Hulu has a lot of different TV shows that we grew up watching. A lot of the current stuff that's on at the moment, and they'll like upload some of the episodes. Um, a lot of people are kind of giving up their cable. I'm not, although I have all the Fire Sticks and all those things, but I don't even actually watch live TV per se, unless it's something that I want to see at that moment. But most of the stuff that I watch is something that I record, and then I'll go back and watch it later. But so a lot of those shows be on Hulu. So I prefer Hulu over Netflix. One of
Okay,
the
here we go.
reasons,
Look,
what somebody say,
I didn't even think about this one, but did it
and
show?
one of the reasons I like Hulu is because I personally like to go to sleep with the TV on. Now, when my wife's home, she works nights, and so
You
when
do that?
she's not here, I turn the TV on, and I can turn Hulu on to put on a good show, and it's gonna play through all the seasons. Now I may be asleep, but it's still gonna play through all of it.
No
What did you
commercials is
have to
a
say?
big plus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's one of the reasons why I watch recorded TV, because I fast forward through the commercials. I have so much going on in my life. I don't have time to watch commercials. I understand that that's what pay for the shows or whatever it is, but I don't have time to watch.
Yeah,
So
commercials.
yeah,
A lot of
not
times
having those
commercials come on.
commercials is a
I
plus.
change the channel.
That's hilarious. So we got some people saying Hulu.
We got
Most people saying Hulu.
yeah.
I think Netflix need to do something to I think we watch majority of the stuff on there. I think that's what it is for most people. And so I think they need to do something to upgrade it, because at one point Netflix was like the go-to thing. And it's like now you have all these different digital outlets that we can run to. Now we have BET Plus, you got Disney Plus, you got all the sports ones, and you got all these ones that people can just run to. So I think Netflix needs to definitely upgrade what they have, the content that they have.
I think the last thing I watched on Hulu was Family Matters.
Yes, sir. I put it on. I go to sleep and let it play through all the seasons. That's hilarious.
No,
All
I'm
right,
I'm just
so
I'm just looking at the comments, man. We got some good comments going on down there here, man.
okay, what are people saying?
But this is off the subject of Hulu, but um,
Oh,
I don't know if we could dive deep into this one tonight. But check this one out. Why do we as males have a hard time communicating how we feel with our wives?
mm.
Mm. You
Okay, so I'm gonna say what we do with our wives, how we communicate with our wives, stem back to our childhood or how we were taught and how we grow up. And it also speaks almost to, I don't want to call it an insecurity, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. The insecurities that we may have as men that we may not even want them to know.
mm-hmm.
And
That's what I was
so,
gonna say.
yeah, um, I know it's for me. I always want to look good in my wife's
You
eyes,
want to look
and
strong. You want to
yeah,
look
you want
like
to
you
look
got it
strong.
together.
Right,
If you
right.
don't want to look like that to nobody else,
You want
number
to like
one
it to your spouse.
person is your spouse, right?
Right, right.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
And sometimes I even have to check myself because even when it comes to her, I find myself trying to be the solution. You
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And sometimes she just want to listen to ear.
Yeah,
Sometimes she just want to vent. But I'll be strategically trying to put something in place and say, okay, so that happened. So maybe you should do this. And so sometimes we just want to, like you said, appear stronger, appear like we have it together. And so sometimes when it comes to being vulnerable with our spouses, our wives, we don't really dig into that because, first of all, a lot of us don't have a good example of how to do that.
no, it,
And that's one of
and
the reasons why I say it goes towards how we were brought up and in our childhood because a lot of us, unfortunately, I have my father in my life, but unfortunately a lot of fathers are not in their lives, or even if they are, they're not with the mothers for some of those.
mm-hmm.
So like we were talking about earlier, how we learn through seeing things. So
Yeah,
like your children are learning how to treat other women through the way you treat your wife, their mother. And so have you ever um said, I'm not gonna be like a certain person or do something like a certain person, and you grow up and do the same thing?
yeah,
It's because
yeah.
we learn through actions.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how we learn. And so it takes a conscious mind to see that happening and say, you know what, I'm not gonna be that way. I'm not gonna do that because I remember how it made me feel. But a lot of times we just repeat those same actions that we were taught without knowing that we were being taught those things. So when
And,
it comes to being communicating, a lot of times we were not taught how to effectively communicate. And so, like, I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were talking to a couple that was on the Married at First Sight, and they were talking about how their marriage, they've been together for over a year now, but they were saying how like things have been working out because
and,
they had marital counseling, but they've been continuing their counseling. And I
mm-hmm.
think counseling helps because a lot of times we put all those things in the back of our mind, even traumas and all those different things, and we don't realize that stuff affects us. So everything that you dealt with as a child, how you were talked to as a child, how you were talked down to maybe, or being lonely, not having someone to talk to. We get married and we just expect for everything to just change. You know what
Yep,
I'm saying? But if you have a root of something else, maybe you've been alone all your life, or maybe you didn't even have siblings, or maybe whatever the situation may be, you may have had that going on. And then you get with a spouse, it's not going to just automatically just change where, oh man, he's so great at communicating. No, it's stuff you have to work at. And
right.
so I think counseling definitely is something that's needed if you're going to be in any relationship,
And
even with just regular families.
right. And the thing about communicating with our wives, like we look men are looked at vulnerability as like a weakness, right?
Right.
But when you're vulnerable with your wife, she likes that because it gives more of an insight on what you're thinking, because normally we don't share what we're thinking. So even if we are coming up with a plan to fix this or do that, we'll plan it in our own head and kind of just do it. Like, or if we're having a fear about, oh man, I don't know how we gonna do this or how we gonna do that, we kind of just try to figure it out by ourselves. Or if we think we're failing at something, we don't share that. But they want us to share all of that. That they like to see that
Right.
part of us. But we're taught as men that vulnerability is a weakness. But on the other hand, your spouse thinks, oh, we're being intimate now. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you just have to retrain your whole thought
You gotta.
process, because what you're taught about how being vulnerable and sharing your feelings is weak. Your
It's really
spouse likes
strength.
to see you share that part of you with them, and most of
Right.
us don't. So if
It's
we can
actually a
just,
strength.
yeah, if we could just get over that hump of what the norms think of men or what the world think of men, like we probably could make our marriages stronger. We can make our family stronger and all that. So
Right.
we just gotta retrain some stuff to fix that communicating
Right. Now let
how
me
we
speak to the
feel.
women also. Let me speak to the women or the wives in that. Now I don't have to normally deal with this, but if the man does open up or become vulnerable with you, woman, you cannot throw that back in his face,
It's over. It's
because
over if
he's
you do
going
that.
it's
It's
over. He's going to definitely build up a wall. And that's the thing about walls. When you build up a wall, nothing is getting out and nothing can come in. And so you're expecting love from him, you're expecting affection from him. But if you throw that back in his face when he was vulnerable with you, he won't do it again. And he'll continue to hold all those things in. When he's happy, when he's sad, when he's frustrated, when he's any of those emotions, he's gonna hold that in, because he's gonna have that fear that last time I did that, she threw it in my face. So
right.
women, make sure that if you're listening, make sure that you all don't do that if you're expecting a man to be vulnerable with you, because that's really a big part of intimacy.
Yep.
A lot of times people think that it goes right to sex, and it's not. Like, I tell people all the time, if you can get into a woman's mind
Yep.
and a woman can get into your mind, that's the first part of intimacy. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, if that part is blocked or that break is there, then your marriage or your relationship is not gonna
Everything else is
last.
off track after that.
Yep. Because marriage is definitely more than sex.
Yes.
So you can't build a relationship just based off of sex, or you're not gonna be happy.
You definitely won't. You definitely won't. I just had to throw that question in there because that was a good one.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
a
a
good
real good one.
question. Yeah, that's something that I'm trying to work at myself, just communicating effectively and better, and just trying to make sure that we're getting out how we feel, because that's important to get out how we feel, because sometimes we feel like we can't be heard. And
Yep.
that's just all of us in general, whether you're
Yep.
male or female. Sometimes you just feel like you're talking, but you can't be heard. And so I think it's important for us to find ways to communicate effectively without hurting the other person's feelings, or not necessarily hurting their feelings, because sometimes things do hurt,
Yep.
but to the point where it's not degrading or disrespectful or putting them down, because it's a way to say anything or do anything.
Respectfully. Yep.
Yes, sir. Any other questions you see down there?
No, that was a good one.
All right, so the next, would you rather Captain Crunch or Frosted Flakes?
Ooh, Frosted Flakes, man. Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch will tear your mouth up. That's
It sure will.
the gums be
Yeah, I would have to
bleeding
say
after you eat
Frosted
Captain
Flakes.
Crunch. You got to go see the dentist and everything, man.
Right, right. Y'all put it in the comment section. Captain Crunch or Frosted Flakes? All right, the next one is: would you rather be without internet or without a phone for a week?
Phone. That's easy.
You'd be without your phone?
I, okay. Well, I'm probably about to get myself in trouble. I don't talk to anybody on the phone but my wife.
That's hilarious.
But if their internet was off, like you can't watch movies. I mean, unless you're going to Redbox or something. Who doing that?
Yeah, I don't even remember the last time I used the DVD or CD.
Right. I don't even have a DVD
It's
player.
been years. And
So
I have one, but I haven't. It's probably collected so much dust because I haven't used it in so long.
yeah, we got people.
What are people saying? Phone.
Yeah, phone.
That's funny because most people we can't live without that phone. Like I mean, but you got to realize the phone means that's part of the internet as well. So you can't use that either if you don't have if you don't have if you have the phone, you can't use the internet on it. All
What they
right.
say?
What they saying?
Oh yeah, you can always watch TV and music without the phone.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, okay. You can still call through other apps if you got the internet.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Looks like the consensus
Man,
is the phone. Listen, man. People don't even talk on the phone anyway. I text 90% of the time anyway.
I think the phone back in the day was so strong because that's all we had. We didn't have
Yep.
no other options. Like we didn't have no internet like that. I mean, we had internet like maybe in my teens,
Yep.
but that was dial up internet, AOL. Like you barely was getting the internet, so you definitely wasn't using it to talk to nobody. And so I think that's all we had. Because I remember as a kid, man, me and my brother used to fight over the phone. And I used to literally be on the phone all night. Now, don't call me, text me.
That's what he said. Back in the day, we ain't have cell phones, and we
Right, right.
survived.
We did.
Yeah.
We definitely did. We were more active. I don't know. I feel like we were more creative in a sense. Because like when I used to go outside and play, man, we would make up games. We would
Yeah.
make up, and it's like nowadays the kids just,
They
if it's
don't.
not a phone or a tablet or
Right. They
a
talking to
game
people on.
system.
They talking to people on Roblox, man. That's what my kids say. Like, who is these people you talking to, man? Turn that off. I heard one day my son give somebody his full name. We like, who are you talking to,
Oh no. Oh no.
man? Do not give
All
out your
right.
full name on here, man.
Right. You don't know who these people are. All right, so the next one is: would you rather have a birthday card, a birthday gift, or cash? What do you say, Carl?
Ooh. It depends on how creative the gift is. Uh, but generally, I take cash because then I can go get whatever. I know people be like, you put more thought into if you get a gift, but what if you miss? What if you miss? Then it's like, nice gifts, and then you like, listen, I don't want to be that person, so let's just play it safe, okay? What you think?
So, what was this? Ariana said, "Cash is a gift." Yes, ma'am. Um, I think it
Uh oh,
depends on
see,
who it is.
see,
It
that's what I'm
depends
talking
on who
about
it
right
is.
here. That's what I'm talking about. That's what people get. It it's more thoughtful.
Yeah, it is more thoughtful because that means the person really had to kind of to really dig into your personality, dig into the stuff that they know you like, and they have to pay attention to you. because I deal with that, of course, with my wife when it comes to buying gifts. It's like I try to pay attention to her, to what she speaks about or the things that she says she wants, and I try to get those things when without her necessarily having to tell me. Now, lately we have been doing lists, and we can kind of pick from there, or pick all of it, or pick some of it, which has been working great because I feel like I haven't been buying no gifts that she just put in the back of the closet because it's been stuff that she won't.
See,
But
here's the key right here. Here's the key. Get you a gift receipt.
oh no, that would work in my house, man. She'd be like, "Where that hat I bought you at? Won't you put that on?" Um, yeah. So it depends. To me, it depends on who it is. If it's my wife, she can buy me gifts because she gonna know who it is. But if it's other people that don't deal with me on a daily basis, I say just give me cash.
Yeah, because
But I do like when people pay attention, though. I do. I honestly like when people pay attention. It's like,
yeah,
oh man, you know me. It shows. It's like another level of you really of relationship. You get to know who that person is, and it's like, okay, you recognize they know who I am. That's why they bought me this. But sometimes you get those gifts that's like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, and you're
yeah.
not gonna use it.
It does play a part of who it's from, and yeah, that does kind of play.
All right, one more, and then we can get into our topic for the night. The last one is: would you rather, and both of these can be expensive, lose your keys or your cell phone?
Cell phone,
Really?
man. I lost. Man, losing your keys is the worst thing ever. Like,
It is the worst.
even though it's probably cheaper to lose your keys, just depending on what kind of key fob you got. But
Right.
I
No, it depends. Well, yeah, it is cheap because these phones nowadays are like $1,000 or more. But I still wouldn't want to lose my keys because then I mean I can't go to work. Man, one day
right.
I had to literally
You
break
can
in my
go
house.
anywhere without your phone. Like, you don't need your phone to go anywhere. Like,
Yeah, you just gonna miss out on a lot of stuff, but I need my keys.
just don't get a
I had to
flat
break in.
tire the day you lose your phone, because then how you gonna get AAA?
Yeah, that's true. We kind of need both of them. I had to divvy my way in my house one day because I walked out the door and locked my keys. I mean, left my keys in the house, and I had to go to work. I was like, okay, what am I about to do? So I had to figure that out. That made me realize I need my keys. My cell phone wasn't gonna help me at that time, unless you have those doors that you can automatically
You got people
unlock.
saying keys. What?
What? Or are they saying they would rather lose their keys?
Right. I'm not sure. There's no way you would rather lose your keys, would you?
Mm-mm, give me my keys. I'd be mad if I'm stuck
Well, I guess
somewhere
they
and I
are.
don't.
Somebody said they nothing without their phone.
Oh man, that's hilarious. I don't know about that one. Because I mean, how good are you if you somewhere and your car is outside and you got to get home, but you don't have no keys? I can get home if I don't have a phone.
Look at that one. Some people need to lose their phone.
Right, that's crazy. Some people do need to lose their phone. Like this pandemic has taught me a lot. Like
Just to see where you at in life. Just
right, right. Can you, and I often time tell people we need to put those phones down. Like sometimes when we go out with my friends, we would say, okay, everybody put your phone down or put them in the middle of the table, and it kind of causes communication to happen, to converse with one another. And
right.
because sometimes, like I noticed, like when you go out, well, we haven't been going out to eat in the last couple months, but you would go out, even if it's not just out to eat, go out with your friends or whoever, and everybody's sitting there on their phone scrolling. And it's
Right.
like, well, why are we out if
Why we here?
everybody's gonna sit here and scroll?
Right.
And so families actually do that as well. And so sometimes it's important that we put the phone down and really, like me and my wife, we put our phones down. We've been playing cards. We've been playing Guess Who. Like, just kind of digging it because you never know what could happen. We may
Right.
go through a a whole day where there's no internet reception at all. I mean, what people will literally probably lose their minds
It'll be a
because they're
wreck.
so used to it, right?
Yeah,
And so I think it's important to have those other games. We play spades and Uno and Phase 10 and or just sit down and talk or just throw out a I love having conversations. So I throw out a topic in a minute and kind of get everybody to engage in conversation. But so I would say I would rather lose my phone. Although it's more expensive, but I
yeah.
would rather lose my phone. God forbid I don't want to lose my phone. So but hey, I would rather.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at a lost phone. I could tell you that.
So I guess it's where you put your value.
Yep.
Because some people, I mean, and it does depend because some people handle all their business through their phone, whether it be with their jobs. And so, these phones nowadays I mean, we depend on them for everything. We
Yeah.
don't even have to go to the bank for real. We can just transfer the money or scan the check or whatever it is or pay the bills. Like we do use our phone for everything now. So,
Everything. Yep.
but I still would rather lose my cell phone versus my keys. All right. So, would you like to first of all, how's everybody doing during this pandemic? I know it seems like we're coming out of it, but we still need to be very cautious of how we live, how we move, and how we groove. I know they opening up stuff, but it's still important. It's not over yet.
It's
And
definitely not.
so within that, I know that us as men, that's been something that we've had to adapt to.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying. So for you, how has it been adapting to not being able to go where you want to go or do what you need, do what you? How has that been for you?
But what's crazy about this is before all of this, I never really wanted to do anything. Like I was okay coming home every day and just chilling at
Mm,
home, or like we had plans on the weekend. I'd be mad. Like I just want to be in the house. Like, and
mm-hmm.
then when all of this kicked off, it was almost like it's the world finna end. Like because
Right.
it was gloomy for about a good 2 weeks when this first started.
It
Everybody,
was.
like my job said, everybody stay at home. The kids sent home, and and I was really like probably as close to being depressed as I've ever been in my life if I wasn't.
Wow.
And didn't even realize it until my wife just kept coming up. Are you okay? What's wrong? And I'm thinking I'm just like making a conscious decision to just not do nothing, or I'm but looking back on it, like I had all these thoughts about like our small business we started, like, but ain't nobody finna buy nothing. Like, who got money to just be blowing stuff and ain't nobody working, and all this other stuff just going through my head and not knowing, like I'm falling into something that I probably never dealt with before, but with all this stuff going around and you watching the news every day and they come out with a different story about
Yes, sir.
coronavirus every day and all that
It's
mixed
depressing.
together just had me like, man, like until one day I was like, all right, none of that really matters. If it's going if the world gonna end, it's gonna end. Like me sitting around watching the news or moping around, not doing nothing, that's not gonna change it. So, like, I basically had, with the help of my wife, like, man, get over that because, man,
Hmm.
I like honestly, I was down for a minute, like a good, because I didn't. I'm telling you, I didn't leave the house for probably a good 2.5 weeks. And when I did leave the house for the first time, I went to Walmart. They had an announcement playing in the parking lot, like, uh, please stay 6 feet away from each other. It felt like the purge mixed with
All
something
right.
else. Like, man, I was like, this is too much for me. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
man.
something to adapt to.
Yeah, it had me messed up. And
Man,
And
I
honestly, I
know.
usually don't
Yeah.
let stuff get to me to that point. Like, I'll blow
Right.
some stuff off in a minute, but this had me messed up. I had never seen nothing like this before. Like,
Yeah, this definitely was something to adapt to, I think, for everybody, especially every man, because we're so used to being the protectors and the one to
mm-hmm,
make the way for things to happen. It's like when something like that happens and it's out of your control, it's like, how do you even cope with that? And so, if there are any men that have questions about that or had to deal with it, because I know it's been hard for some of us. Some people have lost their jobs, been laid off, or some men have not been able to physically see their children because we've been in quarantine. Some of us have not been able to see our other family members, and so I'm sure if you don't notice it, it could lead you into a form of depression or just being sad. But one good thing that I like that you said was you said with the help of your wife,
yeah,
you came out of that. It's important going back to that whole communication thing that you have people around you that know how you normally act, how you normally function, and know how you even communicate to notice that, okay, something is wrong. But
right,
if all we do is stay on our phones and be into everything else, then we really can't dig into one another to know something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? It
right.
happens in families every day. And I'd be like, how did this parent, and I'm not being insensitive at all, but it's like, how did this parent who just lost a child to maybe suicide did not know something was going on? And I think we have to put the phones down. We have to put our jobs to the side at the moment because sometimes people bring their jobs home,
Yeah,
or for the matter, right now, a lot of people are working from home, and so it's so easy to kind of take that on. But I think it's important to have a cutoff time to say, okay, this is just for family time, or this is just for just to kind of see where your children are within their mindset, to see where your spouse is in their mindset. How are you dealing with this pandemic? What are your understandings about what's going on? Like, because most people just think that we're going to go back to how it was
I
before.
was.
But
Yep.
I honestly don't think that we're going to go. I think we're going to
Right.
have to adapt to a new normal.
Yep.
Even when the towers came down in 2001, there was a lot of things that changed. We couldn't go back to the same old way. Like going to the airport was a whole different experience than before.
You got
And
to
so
go
I
a whole
think
hour
with
early
this,
now. Yeah.
right,
So,
exactly. So with this, I think it's definitely gonna be a new norm that we're gonna have to adjust to. And I was just thinking about jobs like Six Flags, where people are normally a whole lot of people together, or like they had to readjust so many things. There's so many stores and so many stores and things that are closing because they cannot sustain not being open all this time.
right.
And so, and even being open, it's like, how do we function when we normally function with a
Half
lot of
the,
people around?
yeah,
And
right.
so,
With,
yeah, how do we function with only having 25% of the people come in, or whatever the case may be? So, yeah, it definitely can, lead to depression and sadness, and a lot of even the uncertainty of it all, like
yeah.
not knowing what's next or what's to come, or knowing when we're gonna be able to leave, or when we're gonna be like not knowing that could definitely lead you into the to depression. So it's important. Families out there, talk to one another.
Talk to each other. Yep.
Talk to each other. Put that in the comments. Talk to each other, and just kind of see where each other's mind is, because a lot of times, since we're talking about men, a lot of times we deal with things and we just internalize it,
Yep. That's
and we
exactly
don't.
what I was doing at the moment. Like,
And that's how it gets to that level of depression, because you're internalizing it. You're not really speaking it out. Like, have you ever had a conversation with somebody or whoever it was, and you felt so much better afterwards?
yep.
It was
Mm-hmm.
because you actually expressed what was going on, and instead of just holding it in. Sometimes as men, we feel like we can just kind of hold it in the back of our mind, or we just deal
But
with
when
it
we
when we
hold it
deal
in,
with it.
we just keep replaying it, just over and over in our own head, and
Exactly.
we typically don't see an out or better outcome because we're already in this cycle where this is what it is, this is how it's gonna end, no matter it. Like it, sometimes it takes that conversation with somebody else to opened up a different avenue for you to see. I don't have to end like that. You can take this other route, and
Right.
but when we play it over and over in our head, it's gonna be the same story because we telling it to ourselves.
And the thing with that is when I preached a sermon one time called "Release the Pressure," and I used the
Okay,
analogy of a balloon, and I had my niece blowing up this balloon, and she just kept blowing up the balloon, and I just continued to talk what I was talking about, and at one point the balloon just bust, and everybody was kind of scared because we kind of forgot about that she was blowing this balloon.
mm-hmm.
That's how we are. We just keep internalizing stuff, keep internalizing, and never release any of it. And the smallest little thing, the smallest little breath, the smallest little, somebody say the wrong thing to us can make us snap. And
Yep,
so it's so important that we find ways to release the pressure in a positive way, to the point where we don't get to the point where we've taken in so much that the smallest thing make us just bust.
yep. And that analogy of a balloon is like perfect because we take in so much, but we never let it out. We never release the pressure. So at some point, we're gonna pop. But but
And
as
it's gonna come
men,
out in a negative way.
mm-hmm, yeah, man, that's a word right there, Scooter. You got that? You
The
got that
most
sermon on CD, man, so I can listen to
I don't know. I don't know. I do have my notes still though, but somebody just put in the comments, just put "release the pressure." That's to everybody, to every man, every boy, every girl, every mom, every wife, every husband. Release the pressure. That is so important to release it. Too much pressure in a tire is going to create a bubble, and the car is not going to roll right.
it. Yep,
Too much, if you have too much pressure, it's gonna cause things not to flow right in your life. And so it's so important to find your voice and release the pressure.
yep.
All right, so we only got a little bit more, a few more minutes on here. So let's dig into this topic, which is very hard to talk about. Um, but being a black man in America, like, we have so much going on in our world. We've just experienced a very heart wrenching and very sad situation of being black in America, and definitely being a black man in America. Carl, what are your thoughts on everything?
Listen, I tried to watch the videos on it, or just for not even that I wanted to watch it, but it like the news plays it. Like even last night, the TV was on. It was on TMZ. They said they had the full video, so of course I'm like, oh, I gotta go watch the full video now. But just seeing this happen every 2-3 months, like, and there's really no answers. Like we get the same treatment, the same answers every time. It's like at some point you try to like avoid it, and that's almost where I am. It's like how much
Yep.
longer do I just want to keep subjecting myself to all of this craziness because it does affect you like one way or
Right.
another. Like being black in America is a real thing. Like the fact that you
It is
drive
a
down the
real
street and
thing.
you could be totally legit. You see a cop, you gonna stare at that cop till you can't see him in the rearview mirror anymore. Like, and I ain't had bad plates or no insurance in a long time, and
Me,
I
me
still do it.
still do
So
it.
the fact that we still have
Oh
these
Jesus.
these rules that we basically have to live by just to be black men in America is crazy to me. And you try to escape that reality as much as you can by trying not to look at the videos a million times, even though it's hard not to because you want to be aware. And then me,
Hmm.
as a father of two black boys who are going to grow up
Yeah.
to be black men, I have my responsibility to teach them what it takes to be a black man in America. Like, so,
Yeah.
man, it's tough. Like I feel like I know how to navigate it, but that could be wrong too because we've seen people who've done everything right and still end up 6 feet under.
Yeah.
So, man, it like this it's really hard for me, like, cause it happens way too much for one, and there's never a answer like we never get the results that we think we're going to get.
Never get the complete justice of what we
Yeah.
want.
So like, okay, he may lose his job, but like we can steal a candy bar and get put in jail for 10 years. Like, how is that fair? And I'm a proud component of saying life ain't fair, but bruh, that it's just way too unequal. Like for people to still claim that America is what America
Is
is, like it's still too much of a gap, and it's hard because people honestly think like we're moving. Oh, we're better than slavery, but uh, how far have we come? Really, how far have we come? When a
right.
black man could be murdered in the middle of the street.
So if you all don't know what he's talking about or referring to, I'm sure most people have at least seen it by now or scrolled past it. He's talking about George Floyd, where there's an officer and some officers, period. But there's an officer who has this guy George Floyd and has his knee in his neck, and he has
For
his
eight
knee in his neck
minutes.
for minutes, and the man is saying, "I cannot breathe." And I just found out today through research that he lost his mom either around the same time that he died a year ago, or something along those lines. And so he was saying he wanted his mom. He's like, "I cannot breathe." And I also just found out he has two daughters, and so this officer held his knee in this man's neck for 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Like, even after the man stopped squirming and moving, it's like, to me that's pure hatred.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I would have never put my knee in that person's neck. And I've worked with children. I've worked with children with disabilities, and I've worked with older people that have mental disabilities. In those agencies, they teach you how to restrain someone. So I definitely know if they teach you how to do those things properly in those agencies and companies, a police officer, I'm sure they have great training on how to restrain someone without killing them. So to me, that's pure hatred to even do that. But my thing is, what has happened in the officer's mind to say, I'm going to do this, and I don't care what the outcome is. I may kill him, but it's like it's happened so much. You said it, like, it's so often that it's like, I'm going to take my power that I have, and I'm going to control the narrative because I'm the cop. And it's like, how much hatred do you have to have for something or someone to do that? And the really sad part about it is, to me, is if it wasn't recorded, they probably would have gotten off.
Yeah, for sure. Just like the
They
guys,
would have
man.
found a way to sweep it under the rug.
Just like the guys who shot the guy running. They didn't get in trouble until they released the video of the man
And this
shooting
happened months,
months
man.
ago. Months ago. Nothing happened until the video got released. So you're right. If it wasn't on video, I'm sure this would have been another story swept under the rug. Another black man
So
dead.
you telling me I got to walk around with my phone either on live, or getting ready to go live, or recording, just
That's that's
so I
your
can have
best
some type of
defense right
justice?
now. Yes, your best
Like, that's
defense right
so
now is
sad.
a Facebook live feed as a black man.
That is so sad. And
It
so
is.
I feel so sorry for his family, for
Yes.
all the people that have had to deal with police brutality and just in injustice, all that stuff. Like, I feel so sorry for those people. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first seen it, I scrolled past it the first couple times because it's almost like
You
you know how
become
us as
numb
black
to it.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
you know how us as black people we kind of tired of slavery movies. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I've seen it. That's how this is starting to become. So the first couple times I kind of scroll past it, and and then I start seeing the man's picture on different people's posts. I'm like, okay, what is this? Because I didn't even know what it was for real, but I just figured when I seen this man neck, knee in this man's neck, I'm like, okay, it's something. And
Yeah.
so I clicked on it and I looked at it and my heart was instantly broke.
Hmm.
And it was like I was sad for him because this man should not have. I don't care what he did. I don't care what they said it was something with forgery,
A
and I
counterfeit
don't care
bill or
what he
something.
did. It did not. It should not have resulted in him losing his life.
A
And so,
counterfeit bill, Scooter. We've seen people mass shootings get locked up, taken to Burger King.
yes, sir.
Like
This is what they do to us black people,
a
man.
counterfeit bill causes you to lose your life. That's ridiculous, man.
And I instantly thought of Eric Garner back in 2004 when
Yep.
he was choked out and he like
I
I
can't
cannot
breathe.
breathe.
Hmm.
I can't breathe. And it's like there our systems are choking us spiritually, mentally, physically.
Physically, yeah.
It's like it went from slavery to a new slavery. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Hmm.
like if they can control us mentally, if they can control how we move, if they can control. It's just sad to me the people that are supposed to be there to protect us are the ones that are killing us.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it,
And they wonder why. And don't get me wrong, all cops are not bad cops. I
no,
seen a
no.
video earlier of a black cop actually speaking out against what happened, and he was saying that it was wrong, and they should not have taken force the way that they did. And so I understand that the officers lost their jobs, but just because they lost their jobs, that's not complete justice. I'm
That's
sorry,
not. It's
that's
not.
not enough. It's not
It,
enough to me.
it's
And I was so sad watching it because I instantly thought about you. I thought about your kids. I thought about my brothers and my wife's brother. I'm thinking about all these men like this could happen to any of
it can
us.
happen to any one of us anytime.
And that was just the saddest thing to me. And you can ask my wife, I could not even sleep. I just was up and I could not sleep because I was just like, this is so sad. Like it just don't make sense.
It
And
does.
so like it don't make absolutely no sense. And I just begin to think about all the males that are in my life, all my brothers and all the I'm like, man, this could be any of us.
Any of
I
us.
remember I remember when back in 2009, I was I was driving and I was turning out on the street. As soon as I turned on the street, it was Hanley. As soon as I turned on the street, all these police officers came towards me and made me stop, and they had all type of guns towards me, and they like freeze, get out of the car. They made me get out of the car. I had two other girls in the car with me, Amy and I think Monique, from Phase Two at the time. We were getting ready to go find outfits for our concert. They made me get out. They handcuffed me, put me on the ground. I think they searched the car and everything.
Mhm.
And the, they after they did all that they did, they was like, "Well, you were just at the wrong place at the wrong time," because I had a Chrysler 300 at the time, and I just so happened my car fit the description, but
No,
I
it's
didn't even
all
fit
we
the
always fit
look.
the description,
Look,
Scooter. We
the
always fit the
crazy. Let
description.
me tell you how crazy it is. The black guy that they described didn't even fit me. I'm like, just because I was black in a Chrysler 300
They gonna
meant
make
that
us
that's
fit. They
it.
gonna make us fit, man. It doesn't matter.
And that's one of the reasons why I had such an issue with the lady Amy Cooper because and I don't know if you all know about that story. That's the lady who called the police on the black guy who was filming her because she was in Central Park and she's supposed to have a leash on the dog. And he asked her, "Hey, can you put your leash on your dog?" And so she calls the police and she tells the police. Well, she told him before she called the police, "I'm going to call the
I'm
police
gonna
and
call.
tell them an African American man has threatened me and my dog." And so she calls the police and tells them to do that. And it's like it bothers me because she knew what she was doing when she says
Mm-hmm.
African American man. She knew what, if they weren't going to look for nothing else, they weren't going to look for no other type of descriptions. They were just going, that's an African American man.
Yep,
So I
because
was glad.
black is a crime. That's being black is a crime.
It's black in America should not be a crime. Like, and it, like I said, it made me think about you and your kids and all the guys around me who have sons. I'm like, it's sad that they have to teach their sons this is how, this could happen. So, and don't get me wrong, I do think there's a place for that we have to step in and make sure that we teach our children and young people how to deal with authority and how to move and groove without being disrespectful or coming off threatening. But I don't know, my perception of it has changed because I feel like just because I'm black, I'm a threat to you. It don't matter whether I'm, the president of whatever company, because I'm black, I'm gonna automatically be a threat to you. And just to know that it can happen to any of us, that's just like one of the saddest things in the world to me.
So
So,
um there's either like a documentary or a book called The Talk.
mhm.
It's about a dad telling a story about the talk that he was given when he was younger from his dad, and the talk that he had to give to his sons about how to
Wow.
navigate being black in America. Like, and the reality is we all probably had that talk or have or are going to give that talk at some point, which is sad that it's we still have to do that. But and even the talk we see doesn't work because you could be 100% right or upright and still end up.
That's Man, that's my point. I'm so flabbergasted. Like, what do you do? Because even if you're doing the right thing, they still, just because I'm black,
Yeah.
which I want to say we're in an equal country. No, it's not. And don't get me wrong, I love Caucasian people. I try to treat them as equally as I treat our people, black people. But it's sad that they don't see it that way sometimes, and that's not all of them. It's just like anything. There's good and bad in every situation, every organization, every you're gonna have that. But it's sad that, like, even with the video with the lady with the dog, for her to think that I can use my whiteness, so to speak, to I can use that to get them to do something to this man who's really not doing anything to me.
It's like
And it's like, and I'm so glad that he
weaponizing.
stayed there.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm so
like
glad that he stayed there, because if he had left, then the police officers would have just went through Central Park and
found him.
she put other people at harm as well, because they would have either found another black man just because it was a black man, or they would have found him. They wouldn't have asked no questions. They would have locked him up, or either he could have lost his life
Yep.
because of something small like that.
And man, it happens all too often, man. For
Too
for
often.
for us to be so progressive and so this and that, we've moved so far from man. If there's still people out here who still think that they can weaponize their whiteness basically by saying, "I'm gonna call the cops and say there's a black guy attacking me," when both of us know good well the first off the story that she gave was he's recording me and threatening me. Why would he record himself threatening you?
Threatening
Like
her,
that
right?
made no sense to me at all. But the fact that people still think in their head that they can use that as a weapon, like I'm gonna call the cops on you, that shows how far we have not
We
come.
really have not. Right, exactly. Man, and it's so crazy because I've been watching, different movies that over the last year or so that's been talking about this same stuff, like the hate you give. The Central Park 5 story was very sad to me.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even make it through all of it. All of this is
Just
too much for
Mercy.
me, man.
Yeah, it's too much. Just Mercy was a really good movie. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I
But
haven't seen that one yet.
it is really good. It's really sad, but it's really good. And it's about a guy who went to be to defend and get people who were falsely accused out of jail. And so that's kind of how he was a lawyer. He became a lawyer, and he did that. Jamie Foxx is in it, and so in the movie, Jamie Foxx is falsely accused of killing this white woman, and he wasn't even there when it happened, but they pinned it on him. And so he ended up going to jail for all those years. And then the guy, Michael B. Jordan played the character, had to go through so much just to get this man off, and he ended up getting him off at the end. And he ended up getting a whole bunch of other people off as well. But it's like it's so sad that we have to go through those things, and they can just use, like you said, weaponize their whiteness and say, well, this such did this. And what was sad about it was the courts, the justice systems
Yeah.
that were the ones that were planning this on him. And so even movies, I don't know if you've seen like Black and Blue,
No.
where the officer, oh man, it's a good movie. And
Dude, I
Tyrese
try
is in
not
it.
to. I try to stay out of depression. Okay.
But it's actually a good movie. But what happens is the officer, she sees her coworkers kill these boys, and she has her body cam on, and they didn't know she was standing there. So when they seen her, they started to shoot at her, and of course she ran. And so they spent the whole movie, they were spending the whole time of the movie trying to find her to get the body cam so that she couldn't put it out. So she was willing to stand up for the guys, who got shot, and not stand just because I'm a police officer. And so I just think that we need more officers like that are willing to take the stand. Although, yeah, I know that I'm a part of this, but I'm not going to be willing to stand for what's wrong. So,
You know what I think is really sad about the movies like that, and there's a show called like For Life. It's I don't know if it's the
yeah.
same guy, but the guy got falsely accused of something, became a paralegal in jail, helped get people off.
Yeah, that's a different story, but I like this show a
That
lot.
story in America is sold to us as a feel good story. Oh, look, something tragically happened to this black guy. He figured out a way to climb out and help other people. That's not a feel good story.
That's not. It's not.
This man had to actually live that life.
Right.
Luckily, he was strong enough mentally, spiritually, whatever it took for him to climb out of that. Yes, that's a good part, but the fact that he had to go through all of this to create this narrative that's a feel good story that's terrible. Like,
Yeah,
how
that
is that
is.
a feel good story to anybody else besides black people?
That's true.
No other community would think, oh, he was falsely accused, he got off, they listen, they would shut America down if that happened to one of them. But to us,
Right.
that's sold back to us as, hey, look at what one of you did. You beat us,
Right.
you got out of it, and you poured yourself out of it. Good job. But what? How?
Man.
It's too
Being black
backwards.
in America.
It's too backwards for me, man.
So I'm a black man in America, and I want to live.
Right.
I also seen the video of the boy singing that song, and it tore me up. Because it's so sad that we have to almost beg to live.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to beg just to go to work and come back home safely. You know what
We
I'm
have
saying?
to
We shouldn't have.
justify ourselves all the time because even when stuff like I'm just waiting for the rest. You know how the story plays out regularly, right? A black person does something, he gets killed. They criminalize him on the news. They put out all the.
That's a
I'm waiting for the story to play out. Like there's going to start being pictures put out about him
trying to.
posing with money or posing with guns, and they're going to find a way. The story has played out many times, and it's always come to the same conclusion somehow. So
They do it with every story.
every
And
time,
that's why, I deal with a lot of youth, and I try to teach them, or people, period, just be careful of what you put out. because with what you put out, they're definitely going to use
They would
against
use
you.
it against you. Yep.
If you don't believe me, ask Kevin Hart because he had to deal with all of that because of some stuff that he said
10 years.
years ago,
Yep.
10 years ago. So I teach them that be careful. I keep knocking this one over. Be careful of what you post on social media because they're going to use that against you. And you may want to go on and become the mayor or the president of the United States. Do you not know they're going to go back to 2020 and say, or post pictures of you with money, drugs, guns? They're going to pull up all of this stuff. And that's what they do to our people when they get shot and killed.
Yep.
They don't go find the profile pics or the picture, the good pictures. They go find the pictures of them to make them look like thugs,
It was
make them look like
justified.
criminals.
Yep.
Yeah, to try to justify why this person did what they did, and it's like
Mhm.
it shouldn't be happening like that. So
Yep.
I teach people be careful what you put on social media, because they're going to use it against you. And
Yep.
even with us, like doing lives, people doing different videos, and then they think because they take it down that it's gone.
No, no, no.
People screen record all the time. You know
The
what I'm
internet
saying?
is
So it is
timeless.
once you put it out there, it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so people think that, oh man, I can put this on Snapchat because it's gonna delete in 24 hours. Nah, bro. You gotta be careful with you because they're going to use it against you.
Yes, they
And
will.
and even as far as that goes as being a black man, be careful of what you post on social media or post period
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to go back and pull up that stuff. Do you not know jobs look at your social media pages now?
Oh yeah, that's a
You know
part
what
of
I'm saying?
hiring process now.
Yeah. And it's like I just really want our black men to understand that because we don't have to post everything just because people be posting money and posting guns and drugs and posting what it's like you have to be very careful and then you wonder why people are after you or you wonder why people are trying to rob you. It's because what you're putting out there. You know what I'm saying? So we
Mm-hmm.
have to be very careful of what we put out there, even as far as our opinion on things. Because sometimes when we put our opinion out there, it can come back to bite us. You
It
know what I'm
definitely can.
saying?
Yep.
And so, like I said, jobs look at social media pages now. And so we want to make sure that people understand that just because it's how you feel at the moment, just because it's what you got going on, that don't necessarily mean you need to post that.
Nope.
Everything is, and that's one thing that I don't like about the generation, our generation, and below, and some of the older people as well. But especially the generations that's under us, they feel like they have to post everything, and it's
Everything.
like you don't have to post everything because everything is not meant for everybody to see. There are so many times that I see different posts that I laugh at, that I maybe even screenshot, but I'm not going to post them
Hmm.
because you know
Wait, Scooter.
because
I'm known for being a lurker because I'll go on somebody's page and laugh and he all day, but you'll never see me posting. Like
right,
I
right,
so
because you have to be very careful because it can come back to bite you in
yeah.
the end. And I know you have some people out there that say I don't care, I can do what I want to do, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. Yeah, but you may regret it later
It may
on.
backfire on you.
It may backfire, and so we have to be very careful of what we post, what we repost. I'm very careful of that period because perception is reality,
Yes, it
and
is.
it may not be the truth, but it's definitely reality to people. You know what I'm
What
saying?
do they say?
And
Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more interesting.
it's more entertaining, and
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Once a lie get out there about you, or maybe even a rumor, people are definitely gonna believe that
They
over the
gonna take
truth.
it and run with it. They gonna
And if you giving them stuff to allude to what they're saying, you put yourself in a situation where it's gonna backfire on you,
hmm?
and you wonder why certain people don't want to be around you or associate themselves with you or certain companies or whatever it is because of the stuff that we post. And the stuff that we post is I already consider like Facebook and all these different places a false reality
Yep.
because we're not putting out there
You always put your
everything.
best foot forward out there.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. It's a produced reality.
Yeah,
We're not putting
you're not putting out there when you trying to decide, am I finna pay this bill or this bill?
yes, you can say that again.
You putting out
You're not
there,
putting out there when you
look,
struggling.
I just got paid. Look at this. I got all. You ain't putting
Right.
out there when you struggling, if you finna eat or if you finna do something for the kids.
And
And
that's one of my issues.
the fact that people are so like into social media, and they envy people on social media, like you don't know what these people are really going through. They're only showing you what they want you to see.
Exactly.
So yeah,
And people take that stuff like it's law. Like this is what's really going on. And it's like most of that stuff is very produced,
yeah,
and they may not it may not be scripted, but they're definitely telling them, okay, you're gonna meet up with such, and y'all may talk about this, and go. It's not a organic thing where they just, like we're just getting on here and we're having a conversation. It's not that organic with reality TV or even the stuff that we post online. Sometimes it's very produced. And so my issue with that is young people think that's the way of life.
yeah,
And what we put out there, that's what people think that's what it is. So as far as being a man, a lot of times the stuff that we see is negative all the time of what we see. They don't really post when the positive man does something. And so the negative man gets all the publicity, all the light. And so it's caused our young people and our even men our age and older to think that that's what they have to do in order to be seen. And so I think that's one of the reasons why we have this show, so we can learn and we can grow from it and we can evolve to understand that we don't have to be the negative man just to get the
no.
light. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to be produced. You don't have to be uh, uh, superficial. Like
Right.
that's not what life is about, man. Like
It's
it's too many
not.
people out here trying to be somebody else, and
Man,
we just trying to tell people be yourself. That's it.
there's so many carbon copies out here. Like, just be you.
Be you,
Like,
man. It's
but
enough of this.
I've learned that we say that to people, but people really don't know who they are.
True.
Some of us men deal with an identity crisis, and we can go on and on about this for real because it's so many people out here trying to chase other people's dreams, other people's visions, things that they want to do, and it's like that's not even who you are. And
Yeah.
so I think that it's important to really deal with ourselves and allow God to really deal with us so we can learn who we are and what our purpose is and what we're supposed to be doing. Because a lot of times when we don't know who we are, that's how the enemy can get in and really control the narrative of what we do and how we operate because we don't it's almost like when you know who you are, you won't allow bull to come towards you.
That's right.
It's like I can shoot that down. But when you don't know who you are and you looking and you searching and you seeing other people
Oh, they got that.
prosper,
Oh, they got that from doing this. Oh, they got. Oh, I
right,
do that. Oh,
right. And it's
that's the
like
wrong
learn who
tactic.
you are.
Yeah,
Right. And so I'm so glad that God has been dealing with me as far as that I'm really learning who I am and being comfortable in who I am because the world don't need another such and such, whoever that is.
hmm,
But I want to show up as me.
yeah.
In the world, I want to show up as the man God has called me to be in
Oh,
this world.
exactly. Yeah,
And so, and even within that, we have to make sure that we're not looking so much to the media, looking too much to the news, looking too much towards social medias, because it can kind of define who we think we are. And,
who we think we are and who we think we want to be. Yeah.
right, exactly. So, man,
So it's good. We could go all night, but
I know, right? I
we gotta
realize
let the
that.
people go at some point.
Yeah.
So
So,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you good.
Okay, so guys, this is our first episode ever of Man Me Too.
Man, me
And that's
too.
just simply to let other males know that yeah, you may be dealing with some of the same stuff I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And when you can identify with it and say, man, me too, I'm going through that too. that's what this is geared towards, to kind of create a space we can learn from, we can grow from, we can laugh at some stuff, we can learn how to shake some stuff off. And so some of the topics that we will be kind of digging into are I'm gonna go down the list real quick, and then I'll give you our social medias and all that. So we're gonna be digging into mental health. We know mental health is this month, but we're gonna be digging into mental health, relationship building, learning what our love languages are. That's important, because if we don't know what it is, we can't tell somebody else how to love us if we don't know how to love us. Duties as a man, duties as a husband, fatherhood, masculinity, toxic masculinity, depression, body image, sexuality in relationships, anxiety and emotions, losing our hair. That's a big thing that most people don't talk about, but a lot of us deal with. The working man, loneliness, suicide. We're gonna deal with what should we talk about on the first date, um, preparation for marriage, maintaining, doing a relationship or a marriage, being the head, how to lead, saving money. That's another one, or having money. Period. What do we do with it? And our topic was tonight being Black in America. So if you all have any questions or comments, or you have anything that you all want us to talk about, topics, I want you all to email us at mannme2@gmail.com. That's man with three N's. MANNN me too at gmail.com.
Yep.
Also, we want you all to go to our YouTube channel. It's simply Man Me Too. Man with three N's. That's how I want y'all to remember it. Because if you type in other stuff, it's gonna the Me Too movement and all that stuff will pop up. So Man Me Too. We want you all to go to our YouTube channel and like, comment, share, and we also want you all to subscribe. Make sure that you all click the notification bell, because that's going to give you all information a notification every time that we upload content, and you'll be able to log on whether we go live or whether we or it's something that's done previous and we post it, or commercials or whatever that may be. Any content that we put up, we want you all to go to that. So again, that's you go to YouTube and go to Man MANN three N's Me
Three.
Too, and like, comment, share, and also subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell, and also go to all, hit all, because if you don't hit all, it's not going to notify you every time we have content that we want to put up. So I don't know. I guess we're done for the night, brother.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for even sharing with me and being able to kind of come up with this. I think in closing, in this pandemic, I think that we have to make sure that we're growing in, while we're in it. We should not come out of this pandemic the same way. And so as for me, it's pushing me to do something like this, because I really wouldn't have, because I'm getting used to, being on camera and stuff like that. And so I think that it's important that us as men, and especially Black men, that we find something, we introduce something, or we gain some type of knowledge in something. Don't allow this moment to pass you by, because while we don't understand why it happened, and we don't know if God made it happen, he allowed it to happen, because it
Yeah.
had to go through him. And so I think when he allowed it to happen, it it put us back in a place where he could um recreate um
Opportunity.
structure and opportunity. Yes, sir. And so a lot of times when you want to restructure something, or you want to get it back to, you have to tear it down. And so um I think that it's important in this moment while we've been torn down, get back to our families, get back to the word, get back to living life, get back to ourselves, learning who we are. That's so very, very important. Don't let somebody man, this what we're doing now is geared to build you up. Anybody can tear you down. Anybody can burn things down. Anybody can knock the house down. But it takes somebody with instructions and authority and um um tenacity to even build up a house. And so that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're building you up. while we're building you up, we may uncover some things that it's like a pinch or it hurts, but it's in all to heal you and to make you whole.
Heal, inspire, all that. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sometimes it
So
takes
to you all who go ahead.
get rid of those hard things out the way in order to progress. So
Yes, sir.
listen, I told my brother we really doing this for us. So like we know we got some things that we need to get over and we need to work through. So yes, we want your input, we want your interaction with us, but we're working through some stuff, and in that time when God is dealing with us, if you get something out of it, or if you can help us get something that we don't have access to right now, we're open to it. Like, this is an open
Right.
forum. We really want to make it a place where people can come and get answers, and where they can give answers, we can give answers, whatever it is, because we haven't seen it all, you haven't seen it all, but us collectively together,
We
we
can
can
accomplish
work it
more.
out. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir. Man,
I'm
this has been
excited.
great.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
We talked about this for a while, and it took a minute because, like he said, he don't want to be on camera. I'm the last person who would want to be on camera, but I felt led because I don't know what we were doing one day during all of this time. I just texted. I was like, bro, this is the time. It's time to start it, and we got it together, and we're gonna try to stay consistent. Um, I'm not.
Yeah.
We, I don't know if we put out a schedule how often, but it's it. We're here, and we're going to try to keep this train rolling as long as we can.
Yeah. So again, if you all like what we talked about tonight, share this, share with your friends, share with your family, your brothers, your uncles, your nephews, your sons. Make sure you all share. We thank you all so much for tuning on
Thank you, thank
and
you.
even talking back with us. We appreciate each and every person that's on here. Again, go to our YouTube channel. Carl, what you got going on? Tell us about your business.
Uh,
I'm getting off
listen,
here.
listen, man, it's busy. Designs by Davis. Um,
Yeah.
me and my wife started this about a year and a couple months ago. I'm not braggadocious or nothing, but
Okay, so I'll brag on them. Okay, so if this guy and his wife are awesome at what they do, they don't just put together designs that are just anything. They take time to really dig into how they want the design to look, and it looks great. They're quality shirts. It's quality printing. It's not gonna peel off when you wash it in the washing machine. Like, they do a quality job. I don't know if you all seen. Okay, so I guess I can talk about my business, which is
I was about to say, let's
singing.
talk about you.
But I said that to say, I don't know if you all seen my video, Don't Quit. I am a part of the Me Too Music family, um, where we are pretty much a label, and we have a group of people, and we have different artists on that label. And so I was able to um, produce a video with the great Levi Two King. And so I don't know if you all seen the shirt that I had on that said "Don't Quit." This guy is the one who made that shirt for me and made those shirts for the people who have them. And so he has a great business. I don't know if you all want to reach out to him online, or you all can email. I don't care if you email me to me, man, me too. For, if you want to talk to him about those things, that's fine with me. But he may want to give his personal stuff as well. But they are great at what they do, and I'm so very proud of you all. And I'm just honored to be able to really know you all and deal with you all in the manner that we get a chance to. So,
You gonna
if
tell the
you all
people
want to
about you? You act like you nobody, man.
Okay, so I talked about me being a part of Me Too Music. I'm also part of two groups. One is Phase Two. That's the group that I've been with for the longest. Um, we're still together. We're still singing. I'm also stepping out to do my own thing right now. Scooter Lamont, So be on the lookout for more music to come, more videos to come, more of all those things. Working to get toward a full album. I'm also with Cedric Shannon Reeves and the Brothers. I don't know if you all see me with them or not, but I am a part of that group as well, and that's a group of guys. And we've been singing for some years now, and we have an album out, and we're getting ready to release a new album coming out very soon. And so you all be on the lookout for that. I honestly do a whole lot. I do. I'm kind of. I don't know. God kind of allowed me to be okay at a few things.
And
So,
when
uh,
coronavirus over, I'm gonna get my brother to teach me how to sing too, yeah. So
okay, yeah. I'm gonna start a label. You can be one of my artists.
we don't fail, bro.
Hey, all we gotta do is get the likes and the shares. You don't even gotta have talent nowadays. If you
True.
get the likes and the shares and the
Nah,
comments,
but
you can be an artist.
you haven't heard me sing, Scooter. You haven't
Oh
heard me.
man, it's enough auto tune and melodyne and all that stuff to fix
You can
whatever
make
you
me
got
sound
going
good.
on.
You can make me
Yes,
sound good.
sir. So, one last thing, I just want to shout out to my wife who's been pushing me in this, Janetta Warlick. I thank you so very much for helping and push me in this vein and all the other veins in my life as well. But definitely in this, since we're on here, I thank you for pushing me to do things in order. She's awesome, and she's a businesswoman out of this world. She's gonna make sure I have things in place. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm so grateful to be with you. It'll be 10 years for us in September the 11th. It'll be 10 years for us. And go
Yeah.
ahead, Carl.
Since we shouting out wives, my anniversary is Monday, so
Yeah,
uh,
congratulations.
listen, I don't have a bigger cheerleader in the world than my wife, and
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna say cheerleader / coach because sometimes the cheers turn into directions almost. Like you said you was gonna do this and you ain't did it yet, so here we are. Okay, but
She's
I
holding you
love her.
accountable.
She does, and we talked about that recently, so I can't
That's
even be
another
mad at
thing,
her.
y'all. If you got people around you who are not holding you accountable, they're not really your friends for real.
Nope, they not.
Because a lot, I mean, and that's just kind of, it's sad, and we're about to get off here, but it's sad that we've kind of adapted to having yes men around us. That's what we want. Yes men. But you need somebody that's going to stand in the gap and be like, hey, that ain't cool, or this ain't right. And we be able to take that and take that correction without it being a big blow up or a big thing. So it's important to have people in our lives. For us, it's our wives who hold us accountable and keep us
For
on the right
sure,
page.
for sure. Yep. Well,
Man, I ain't think this is
we've been
crazy.
out here longer than we thought, huh? So
I know, right? We did not expect to be on here this long, but we thank you all so much for
thank you,
y'all, commenting. And
yeah.
until next time, grab somebody, look at somebody, say, "Man, me
Man.
too,"
Me too. See y'all later.
with 3 N.